So I was challenged to tell my Jeep story by the Bearded Jeeper. If you haven't seen his channel, make sure to go over and check that out. There's this little tell your Jeep story challenge going around right now. And like I said, he challenged me. I apologize for any audio issues. I'm actually in the process of working on Project Dirty Willie here. So as you can tell, I have the door open and a couple of the neighbors are mowing their yard. So I don't know if my microphone's picking up the sound of a lawnmower. So if this audio is really annoying, really sorry about that. I guess we'll get right into it. My Jeep story, I guess it's kind of similar, but kind of different. I mean, it's like anybody else's story. I didn't start off with Jeeps. When I was younger, I started off around race cars and some 4x4s and stuff, but it was mainly like full-size Chevy trucks. We were, Chevy guys. There was a Ford or two. My father had a Ford Bronco that was fairly lifted. It was running, I think, some 44-inch Super Swamper boggers. Actually, no, they were just the regular Super Swampers on that. And then, like I said, we had just, full-size Chevy trucks and stuff. So I grew up around off-roading, four-wheelers and stuff like that. We had some dirt bikes and three-wheelers, but I stayed on four wheels. I still kind of do that to this day. Don't really do the two-wheel thing. By race cars, I mean like street and strip cars, and then some vehicles that were just, drag cars, basically. I personally had a 1986 Chevy S10 with a built small block Chevy in it. It started off as a street truck. I think I've got some pictures of it that I can throw in here somewhere. It started off as a mild street truck. Actually, it started off as a complete pile. I got this thing and it was rotted out. Got it for, I think I paid the guy $150 for it, and it had a small block in it. It ran, but it was like a junkyard 305 with a 2-barrel carburetor on it. Did a ton of body work to it. I'm hoping, as I'm recording this, I'm trying to think right now in my head if I have pictures of all this stuff to show, so hopefully I do. Did some body work and stuff on it and got it looking nice, and built a mild 350, and then took that out, rebuilt it, where they went to a 355. Then took it to my father's race shop. We were going to make a street strip truck out of it, but that ended up turning into basically just a full-out drag truck, 406 small block. I don't think I have any pictures of it completed, but I've got some, here and there. So, out went the interior and everything, and we went, full drag truck for it. We're tubbing it and everything, 18.5-inch wide tires in the back. But again, this is, I guess, supposed to be, I'm gonna pause for that. I guess my first, off-road experience, big lasting off-road experience was from way back when I was pretty much too young to remember it. But for some reason I remember little pieces and stuff here and there. And I had talked to my father about it when he was still alive, and he had told me, he's like, I don't know how you remember that, because you were only 3 years old. He had a yellow CJ7 and had a small block Chevy in it. And he showed me some pictures. I highly doubt I have any pictures of that anywhere. And he took us out off-roading in it, and we were just out. Really, it wasn't a trail or anything. It was, just some of the local property, that we lived on. There was a creek and everything, and we were just driving around. We would drive through the creeks and stuff like that, and there'd be, big, natural mud bogs out there. I remember him driving into, it was, just a great big, kind of like natural mud pit that was out there, and shut the Jeep off in the middle of it and told us kids that it died, that, and that it wouldn't start or anything, and that we were stuck there, and that we couldn't get out of the Jeep to try to hook the winch to anything because the mud was quicksand. So he had us all scared to death. We were all little kids and stuff. But that was, I guess my first kind of lasting off-road experience. And then just skipping years ahead, like I said, my father had a Bronco that was on some 44-inch Super Swampers. Then I'm trying to think just some of the vehicles to throw out there. There was an 80-something Ford F350 long bed, but it wasn't the dually, it was the single wheel in the rear. And it was lifted, sitting on some monstrous, they were like 49.5s or something like that. I mean, just gigantic tires. I grew up on the more mud side of off-roading, less rock crawling, more just out in the mud. So, you know, our tires were normally super swampers and boggers. My all-time favorite tire is a close race between the super swamper bogger and the groundhog. I grew up around tires to where you had, you know, big, not 35s. 35s weren't big back then. We would have, you know, like 44-inch tires on a 15-inch wheel. So it was, you know, big balloon tires. You know, that's, and I still like that look today. Me personally, I didn't grow up owning a lot of off-road vehicles. I was actually more into cars. And for being a bigger guy, I'm 6'4", I was actually into smaller cars. One of my favorite cars was a little Pontiac Fiero. Had a couple little Fieros. Those things were cool. Everybody's like, how do you even fit in that thing? But I just really liked those little cars, tinkering around with them and stuff. My mom had a little Chevy Sprint, I think, or Spirit. Chevy Sprint, I think is what it was. A little 3-cylinder, turbocharged, tiny little box on wheels. And we used to take that thing out and mess around with it. And it was a fun little car. Like, I liked little cars, and I was more into racing. I liked going, you know, fast. I'd stay on the road and go fast. My brother, you know, he had multiple large trucks. My dad had big trucks and stuff. So I had little cars that I, you know, played around with, and then I went off-roading with my dad and my brother. So, you know, into my, you know, mid-20s, I was still into building, you know, race cars and stuff like that. I wasn't doing it in my father's shop anymore because he had passed away, so I was kind of doing it on my own. So things slowed down a little bit. You know, I didn't have the resources. You know, my dad never paid for really any of this stuff, but he had the race shop, so he had the lifts and all the tools and all that stuff. So I didn't have, you know, any of that anymore. So I was kind of doing everything at my own pace. So my vehicle story at that point kind of slowed down, but I was still into race cars until, you know, I met my wife, and she had this 2005 Jeep Liberty Renegade. And it was in desperate need of some repairs. It had been, you know, in an accident and stuff like that. And that's how I started the YouTube channel, was I just went about doing some of the normal repairs on that and decided to video it. And it wasn't gonna be, you know, anything like it is now. It was just gonna be fixing, you know, the broken bumpers, the plastic cracked bumpers and stuff, fixing the grill, you know, replacing side mirror, just doing all the normal stuff to get it back to factory. But as I was going along and ordering all these factory parts and stuff, and found out how hard it was to actually get some of the stuff for the Renegade style Liberty, I started modifying stuff, and it kind of turned out to what it is today. If you don't know what Project Renegade is, go into my channel and check out a playlist on it. I've got pretty much a full build on it. Then after working on it for a year or so, we got the 2015 Jeep Wrangler Willys Wheeler. This is Project Dirty Willie. I've got all kinds of different stuff on it. You'd have to check out the playlist on it. So like I said, my Jeep story didn't really revolve around a whole lot of Jeeps. It's basically these two Jeeps here and a bunch of, you know, just old school 70s and 80s full-size trucks and race cars. That's pretty much, you know, my story behind all that. And the YouTube thing started with the Liberty and then has continued with the Liberty and with the Wrangler now. When I started doing this stuff on the Liberty, I decided, yeah, I'm gonna upload this on YouTube because it might be able to help somebody. And the reason why I did that is because I'd worked in, you know, all these different shops and race shops and oil change shops and just, you know, brake shops, all kinds of different stuff. But I had seen how a lot of those shops had worked and how they had kind of always upsold people and, I hate to say it, but ripped people off a lot of times. And I saw that in body shops. Body shops are really bad about that. So if anybody's, you know, an existing subscriber, you know, I tend to ramble a lot, and I tend to apologize for rambling a lot. Anyway, I made those videos to show people that they could do a lot of this stuff by themselves, and it went further from just bodywork stuff. It went from, you know, mechanical stuff to off-road lighting to wiring, all kinds of stuff that most people would be, you know, really intimidated to do. You know, I didn't realize, you know, how many people were intimidated by wiring like a relay, just something like a relay or a 5-pin rocker switch or a single pole double throw switch or double pole double throw switch. You know, all the stuff that I had grown up doing that to me just seemed really simple. And you know, it was just, to me, it was like common sense, but I had to stop and think, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, a lot of people didn't grow up doing a lot of this, so they don't understand a lot of it. So I started making videos on how to do it that tried to break it down so they could do it themselves in a safe manner without catching their car on fire or their Jeep or their truck, whatever they were working on, without catching their vehicle on fire, and actually doing it themselves and not paying a fortune to do it. That was the original idea, and it's still kind of the idea behind Rocky X TV, is honestly to try to help other people. Because even off camera, I'm constantly doing it. It's, you know, friends will come by and stuff, and I'll do work on their vehicles for them. And, you know, they're like, how much do I owe you? And blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know, just get your parts, come over, and we'll sit here and talk as I cuss and bang on your car and, you know, try to fix it for you. It's something I grew up doing. It's something that, you know, has been implanted in my brain. You know, just try to do, you know, good stuff for people, and then good things will happen in return. And good things have happened for the channel. You know, I've gotten quite a few big name sponsors for, you know, the size of my YouTube channel. It's amazing, some of the sponsors that I have. So a huge thanks to all of you guys that are subscribed, and anybody that's watching. Even if you're not subscribed and you're watching this, thank you. You know, it's been amazing how much the channel has grown, and I hope it keeps going that direction. And speaking of, you know, growth in YouTube channels and everything, it's kind of, you know, one of the ideas behind this, tell your Jeep story or whatever. I'm sorry, I can't exactly remember what it was called, because I just found out that I was challenged by the Bearded Jeeper, came out here and grabbed the camera and kind of cleaned up a little bit and decided I was going to do this. I guess part of it behind it is to, you know, get exposure to some of the smaller channels in the YouTube community, or the YouTube Jeep community, and to kind of bring the Jeep community together, because, you know, there are quite a few channels that, you know, are lumped together with each other. You know, everybody that knows this channel knows this channel and this channel and this channel, but they don't know about this group or this group. So they're kind of separated off into groups, even though we're all about the same thing. We're trying to bring it all together. So the 3 channels that I want to challenge: Underground Trev. I know you haven't been uploading in a while, man. So hopefully you'll have time to at least, you know, tell your Jeep story. He's got an awesome channel. Make sure to go check it out. Nathaniel's Garage, that is the second channel that I challenge. He's a relatively new channel. I came across the channel, and you know, he's really progressed on a lot of his stuff. He seemed a little shy on camera at the beginning, and then he's gotten a little better and better and better. And I really like some of the work that he does. So make sure to check his channel out, and hopefully he tells you his Jeep story here in the future. And then the last channel that I want to extend the challenge to is Make Your Own Adventure. He's been a subscriber to my channel for a long time. I've been subscribed to his. I know the rules were 1 to 3 channels, but I kind of want to throw in this one extra channel. I'm not going to contact this channel like the other 3 I'd said: Underground Trev, Nathaniel's Garage, and Make Your Own Adventure. I'm actually going to, you know, contact them on Facebook or however to let them know that I have challenged them. But I want to throw in one more, and I'm not going to contact them whatsoever. I'm going to leave this up to either you guys to somehow go and tell this channel, or see if it gets its way around to the channel, to see how well the YouTube community, or how well the Jeep community actually communicates with each other. This is a bigger channel, and I imagine most people watching this know this channel and are probably subscribed to it. Bleepin' Jeep. To be more precise, Matt from Bleepin' Jeep. I challenge you to do a tell your Jeep story style video like these. But like I said, I'm not going to contact him directly. So if you guys want to see it, you guys go let him know that I challenged him to it. Or we'll see if the video makes its way around. So I know that's 4 channels, but like I said, only the 3 that I did, I'm going to contact. The 4th one is just kind of an experiment, just to see if it actually works. I know this was probably long, boring, drawn out, but you know, this is the best I could think of at, you know, last minute of just throwing everything together here. So again, to ramble and repeat myself just a little bit more, and then we're done. Underground Trev, I challenge you. Nathaniel's Garage, I challenge you. And Make Your Own Adventure, I challenge you. And for the last little kind of experiment, Matt from Bleepin' Jeep. So guys, if you want to see his, make sure you get in contact with him, because like I said, I'm not going to contact him. Not that I'm not saying that I don't like him and I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to contact him directly, because I want to see if the community can go full circle and, you know, kind of do it. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to go into my channel, check out a couple videos on some of these other Jeeps and stuff, so you can kind of learn a little bit more about those. And you know, make sure to subscribe if you like the channel. I think I could put links to the other channels that I challenged here at the end of the video, so make sure to check out these channels here. And yeah, I think that's the end of the rambling. So thanks for watching, guys.